want to do hard or easy?
Hard. You know, our way.
A coven of wicked witches live at the heart of the sinister swamp. They conjure up all manner of brews to empower the
This one's got a lot of
arch-illager and his
witches, right? Some
ever-growing
stuff.
army.
Witches are so annoying because
Defeat
they'll
those
kill
witches.
you.
The illagers will be unstoppable. But tread carefully. The swamp is.
Alright, do you want me to tell you my scary story?
Yeah.
Alright. So while we're playing, I'll tell you the story. And I'll tell you some story. I'll tell you a spooky story that happened to me,
Yeah.
a couple spooky stories, and then if we have time, I'll share some more. But when we were in Okinawa, I had this really crazy experience with what could have been, what I believe was paranormal, during COVID, no less. I think Okinawa is pretty spiritual.
Yeah.
So I think especially like during World War II, lots of people lost their lives. So there's lots of ghost stories spread throughout the island. But my story occurred during the lockdown, COVID lockdown. So unfortunately, I was working late one night, probably like 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. And I worked on the second floor of this old building on Canadian Air Base. And when I shut the door to my office to work on my computer, there was nobody there. The lights were out. Started working on my laptop, and after a little while, I could hear voices in Japanese. It sounded like there was I don't want to say a party, but like a group of people talking. And I opened my door, and the way the building is, it's shaped like an H. So I could see into the office across the hall, and I could see through their window.
That's good.
And one side of the building, I could see that the lights were on. And I couldn't see people, but the lights were on. I could hear people talking. So I didn't really think much of it. I shut my door, finished the work on my laptop, maybe in 5 minutes, and then grabbed my computer, grabbed the keys to my office, opened the door, and looking through that same office, there were no lights on anymore. There are no more voices. So I was like, that's pretty weird. When I walked outside to the back of the building to get to my car, there are no cars out there. There's no people lingering around. All the doors are locked. So my initial thought was like, wow, these folks left real quick. Like they finished whatever they were doing, and they left really quick. So I didn't think enough of it. Went home. The next morning when I went to work, I asked the person across the hall from me who was in charge of those people that would be on that side of the building. They made a joke like, oh wow, two people were working really late last night. And she asked me, she's like, what time are you talking about? And I mentioned like 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and she's like, that's impossible. Like, they don't have keys to the building, and they're gone at like 4 o'clock, so no one was here last night. I could tell that she was kind of getting a little nervous. No, I definitely saw lights on, and I heard people talking, and I pointed to where it was in the building, and I could see that she was like visibly getting a little upset and a little scared. So I kind of just dropped it and moved on. But one of my coworkers overheard what had happened, and she told me that side of the building's
Yeah.
pretty haunted. She said that she had a couple experiences, and one of her experiences was there's this printer room that's located in between my office and the hallway that goes to that wing where I saw people partying, or I overheard people like chatting, talking, that didn't see. And she mentioned that one night she was working late around the same time. She said it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, which yeah, gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. Yeah, I was like, what are the chances that it would be around the same time? And she said I was the only one in the building, and I was finishing a report. In the military, we have to do annual reports for enlisted officers. So she mentioned she was finishing an annual report for one of her troops, and she heard knocking,
Wow.
and she walked out of the office, and she walked towards the knocking was, and it was coming from this printer room. Which only has one door in, and there are supplies in there, but it's where like the big printer is. And she tried to open it, but it was locked. And the key was in her office. So she kind of like listened, and then she heard the like knocking from inside the door. She was like, "Hey, this isn't funny. Who's ever in there needs to come out right now." And no one responded. But then she heard knocking again. She put her hand on the door, and she told me that she could feel someone hitting the door.
Yeah.
She quickly ran back to her office. She kept her eyes on this door the whole time. So she saw that this door did not open. No one left. She grabbed the key, and she went and unlocked the door, and there was nobody in there.
That's scary.
Oh, it gets worse.
What?
As soon as she shut the door and locked it, then knocking happened again. And she quickly, she's braver than I am, because I would have just got the heck out of there. Yeah, so she unlocked it again real quick and walked in there. There was nobody in there, nothing in there. Shut the door, locked it, same thing. She could feel someone getting the door. And I was like, what'd you do after that? And she was like, oh, I ran to my car and left. And then after that, I just didn't stay late anymore.
Night shift's always good.
Yeah, night shift's always scary, yeah.
Alright, I got stuff.
Oh, go up the ladder there. Go behind you. No, see, there's stairs.
Look, I'm stuck. See?
No, there's a telephone key.
That's weird.
I'll go up the ladder.
I can't hear you. That's ew. Yeah. Oh, he's probably dead.
Yeah, we made it really strong. Just kill him first. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, that's embarrassing.
So.
Another story that this one happened to me. I was working late again. Yeah. I think this time it was probably like 6:30 or 7.
That's something.
And it was dark outside. It was I think it was during the fall winter time frame. This is a few years ago, kind of near the end of COVID, so things have relaxed a little bit. Just to put it in perspective, the time frame. But I was doing this report, and I needed some information, so I contacted one of my friends who worked in another unit. And I'm careful this guy. I contacted one of my friends who worked in another unit. He just happened to be driving by my office. This is a different building than the previous one. He came by. He was in the office for maybe really so, and then the lights in the lobby just turned off. So they just turned off, and there's no one else there but me and him, and I could see that he was visibly scared. like nervous
Yeah.
and scared. And he asked me, he's like, "Oh, are the lights on a timer or are they on a sensor?" And I felt so bad for him that I lied. I said, "Oh yeah, they're on a sensor." And then he told me one of the craziest stories. So his office, which is in the same building where I had overheard and saw lights in that series of offices where people were talking. He works in the same building, and he said that he was working late at night for 7 o'clock or so, 7:30 or so, and the lights outside his office shut off. Yeah, there's no timer, there's no sensor or anything. Then it got really cold, and he could hear it like whispering. I was like, oh man. And he said it happened multiple times. I was like, oh wow, that's really crazy. So when the lights went out in the office that we were in, outside my office, he was worried that it was the same thing. He was getting scared. Well, like I said, I felt bad for him, so I kind of lied, which is not a good thing to do to people. But I kind of lied. Those lights in my office are not on a sensor. They're not on a timer. I'd worked many late nights in that building, and those lights never turned off unless I flipped the switch. Could it have just been a coincidence? Maybe. But while I worked there, it never happened again. But yeah, just crazy, man. Just crazy.
That's scary.
Yeah, Okinawa's pretty interesting place.
Yeah, I guess that's why they have the sheep.
Yeah, she's the guardian dogs for the shrines. People.
I love it.
Yeah, so yeah, just some interesting experiences that we had when we lived there. Lots of different stories too. There's one story, it's pretty famous, you can find it online. It's about this haunted building where allegedly an occupant that lived there, 30, 40 years ago, went crazy and killed their family. And then another tenant moved in there years later, and they did the same thing. But yeah, but when you can look online for the story, but when you look for proof that it actually happened, obviously, it's very difficult to find. I could never find it. So, but I know that building, surprisingly enough, was tore down. And one of the Japanese workers that I knew, one of the Okinawan workers that I knew that had worked in that area, had mentioned that even if it was like summer, like July, August, July, August in Okinawa is really hot.
Yes, it is.
So even if it's July, August,
you feel cold?
that house, even though all the power was shut off on it, no one was moving in it anymore, no one was living there anymore. The AC wasn't on or nothing. He said that you'd walk in that house and it would be ice cold. Yeah, it's pretty scary. And they eventually tore it down. So they tore it down.
So it's kind of like free AC.
Yeah, ghost AC. And do you want to?
No.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be a little sweaty than be super scared. I mean, it does get really hot in Okinawa, so maybe, I don't know.
But when you're scared, you get hot, so...
Oh, you think so?
I think so.
I'm going to switch up my weapons here, because it's getting pretty...
Yeah, these guys are strong.
Yeah, these guys are pretty strong. Let me see. Not terrible. That's some decent enchants. That's a good one. Charge shot. Oh, gosh. Oh, maybe some of that guy. Yeah, and then I remember we went to the old Japanese naval headquarters there, that underground facility. We had went there. It was built into the hillside near Naha. I remember we went there. And we went down into the cave, into the cave area. You go down down the tunnel, and it's pretty tight in there. And you know, as American forces were taking the island, you know, reportedly the Japanese soldiers, military over there, you know, took their own lives or so forth. So there was a lot of death and carnage in there. And I believe in one of the rooms you could actually see like the grenade fight. When I was down there though, I could felt like someone was like squeezing my throat and my lungs. It was really weird. I'm not claustrophobic or anything. I've been in tight spaces before, but you just feel real uncomfortable. At least I did. I don't think you guys felt anything.
Yeah.
But I felt like they didn't want me there. Maybe it could have been like me just thinking things moving towards reality.
Or you just, you.
Sorry, I got a mess as well. But yeah, it was a different experience, to say the least. Interesting experience. I mean, it's a part of history. We missed one side of that map.
I think they just don't like American people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're adversaries at the time, so. Do you want to double back and get that part of the cave that we didn't explore, or are you good? You want to rest? Yeah. We're not missing the guy's at the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as we don't miss the guy.
That guy's gonna be so long.
Oh yeah, he's right when you.
Really funny.
I'm close enough. I'm 15. What's your power level?
I'm 13.
Oh, okay. So in one of our other videos, one of our short videos, I had mentioned growing up, and I heard this knocking sound pretty much my entire childhood. I could never explain what it was. And I didn't tell anybody about it. I just assumed I was the only one that could hear it. And you know, maybe you don't want to tell people too much because then you're like worried that they're think you're a little crazy.
Yeah.
Not everybody is a believer, if you will. You know, we use the term skeptics. You know, people that just don't believe no matter what, unless they see like overwhelming proof. You know.
Yeah.
Like the flat earthers. People who think that the Earth is flat.
No.
Yeah. As you say, you gotta make them a part of NASA so they can see. But yeah, I thought I was the only one that could hear this knocking sound growing up, and it would always be in this one specific part of the house where the second floor bathroom and then my bedroom was, and it was always around the same time at night. It was always when it was dark. It was never when it was daylight. Yeah, and I thought I was the only one that could hear it. I never mentioned it to anybody. And then years later, you know, my twin brother and I, who shared a room, growing up for a time being, just randomly, I don't know what brought it up, we just randomly had a conversation, and then like, I think that was more unnerving, because I had kind of moved on,
Yeah.
but I think that was more unnerving that like he heard it, and that kind of freaked him out. So, just interesting. So, and then I think I talked about how I had sleep paralysis one time too, which I know it's not too common, but you know, sleep paralysis is when I'm in this. You're in this. Sleep paralysis is an interesting phenomenon where it's almost like you're dreaming, but you're really awake. It feels like you're
Just so realistic.
It's realistic. You can only move your eyes a lot. I've had friends and coworkers before tell me that people whispering, they see people out of the corner of their eyes. One guy mentioned that, you know, it's this old lady that just runs out
Yeah.
like a kind of like a witch almost, which is fitting for this level, kind of like a witch. I luckily I didn't have that. I just I woke up and I was staring at the static in the TV.
Yeah.
I could hear footsteps upstairs, but honestly, in that old house, I could hear footsteps anywhere. I think it was just poor construction. So, yeah. Scary stuff, man. But yeah, I'd be interested in, like, anybody, you know, if you had a spooky event happen too, if you want to just add it to the comments. Like maybe something happened to you. I know there's a lot of spooky stories on Reddit and YouTube, and one of the YouTubers that we like to watch is Mr. Golem. He's really awesome. He does mostly paranormal stories, but he has some other stories too. And it's just cool. It really gives you a different perspective. You know, kind of like the old X-Files thing, you know, the truth is out there. You want to believe, so. But I think like Japan, I don't know if you agree with this, Japan's just a very old country with a lot of history. Yeah. You know, America is very young. These daggers just take so long, man.
I know. If you want my unique one.
No, I'm okay. You know how it is in the beginning where you just want to get the weapons and shard them.
Yeah. Money. What's the boss? He's going to be so
This guy's hard. This, and he was giants too, just
I think he's the hardest one. When you do the
fire. And his little slime shot. Oh, that's right, yeah, they shoot that.
That makes it hard. And he's hard.
He's game, no?
You just have to shoot them.
Don't die. I pushed him. Ooh, is that a heartbeat crossbow?
Oh, I can die there? I didn't know that.
Oh, dude, harp crossbow.
You got it?
Got harps.
That's nice. I got the gold grave thing.
Not super good chance, but
If it has multi-shots, it does.
it doesn't. I mean, it has the original Nike shot. The one that comes with it. Yeah, this one's easy to find because you guys just right there. So if you miss them, you probably need to
Yeah.
reevaluate your life.
I don't know how you use them.
Alright, well that's this stage. If you like the video, please like the video. If you enjoy the stories, we're going to tell more stories as we play this game. As an older game, me and my son here, we like to just talk while we play, so hopefully you'll enjoy our conversations. Spent a lot of time in the military, about a quarter of a century of time in the military, and still serving. Enlisted officer, got a lot of experience, been to a lot of countries, seen a lot of things, so if that's the kind of content you want to hear about some stories throughout my military journey and our journey moving around, please stick around and continue to watch our videos and like, drop a comment, and subscribe, and like we mentioned, share some of your stories.
Bye.
Catch you at the next one.
Supply is no more, and it'll be a long time before the witches recover from this blow. Well done.